Welcome to ECE 111, Introduction to ECE. Now, there's no textbook for this class. All the lecture notes, homework set solutions, everything you need is located here on Bison Academy. If you click on 111, that'll bring up the course. So here, what we have laid out is the course on a weekly basis. What we'll be covering week 1, week 2, week 3, and so on. At this point, we've got the lecture notes. So later on today, we'll be covering MATLAB basics. If you click on that link, time passes. There we are. You've got the lecture notes that we'll be going over. In addition, there's a YouTube video, the one you're watching right now. I'm making YouTube videos for each of the lectures. So if you like reading the material, you can. If you'd rather watch a video, you can. Class handouts are right here, stuff that we'll go over in class, and also some text files. So if you don't want to type a function into MATLAB, I can just click on this, and there's the MATLAB code. We'll talk about that a little bit later, along with the homework sets and solutions. We'll also have videos for the homework sets. I'm in the process of making those right now, but fairly shortly, you'll be able to click on here. Here's the homework due for that week. There we are. Here's the homework for that week. And also in recitation, there'll be a little video to help walk you through the homework set. Now, the purpose of this course is twofold. First off is to get you familiar with MATLAB. MATLAB is a computer language that we use extensively in electrical computer engineering. And some feedback from our students is that it would be really nice if they actually had a course that taught you how to use MATLAB before you actually had to use it. So that's the purpose of 111, get you familiar with using MATLAB. To do that, I'm going to take typical problems that you'll see in a bunch of different courses you'll be taking over the next 4 years, and show you how to solve those problems using numerical methods. The theory behind that solution, how to solve it analytically, stay tuned until you take those courses. But with MATLAB, you can do a numerical solution and come up with the answer or something really close just using numerical methods. Plus, you kind of learn how to use MATLAB. So that's what we'll be doing. The layout of the course kind of walks through the different courses you'll be taking. For example, if we go back to Bison Academy, under Advising Information, up here, you've got the courses you need to graduate in terms of prerequisites. This is a sheet that I find very useful for advising. For example, Algebra 3, or Algebra is a prereq for trigonometry, which is a prereq for Calc 1, which is a prereq for Calc 2, which is a prereq for Calc 3, which is a prereq for Circuits 2, and so on. These shaded classes are the bottleneck. As long as you're taking the shaded classes, you're working your way towards taking Circuits 1, Circuits 2. Once you get into Circuits 2, the whole curriculum opens up. So advising is actually really easy. As long as you're taking math and physics and stuff that counts towards graduation, you can't go wrong. ECE 111 covers typical problems to run into in algebra, week 1, trigonometry, week 2, calculus, week 3. Then we cover circuits, electronics, what else? Signals and systems, random processes, energy conversion, EMAG. I think that's it. Well, some typical problems you'll be seeing over the next 4 years. So that's the second purpose of the class. Kind of give you an overview of why you're taking these classes. The classes interrelate. You're not taking them just because we want to give you some busy work. You need algebra to understand the trig. You need trigonometry to understand the sines and cosines. You'll be covering in Circuits 1, Circuits 2. You need calculus in order to integrate differential equations. All circuits with capacitors and inductors satisfy differential equations. You need linear algebra to solve your 10 equations, 10 unknowns. If I have a circuit with 10 voltages, I need to solve for 10 unknowns. To do that, I need 10 equations. So all these courses are interrelated, and you'll be using them over the next 4 years. And that's, just, again, the kind of the point, to show that these courses are actually used to solve problems that kind of build on each other. Now, getting back to 111, what's on Bison Academy, again, at the lecture notes, videos, class handouts, homeworks, videos for going over the homeworks. There's also, if you click on Homework Sets and Solutions, these are the homeworks and solutions from the previous semesters. This class has been taught 5 different times in the past. So you'll have the homeworks along with fairly detailed solutions for each one. Let's click on this one. If you're struggling with the homework, it sometimes helps to see how do you do a similar problem. All the homework sets are similar. Again, when you solve for n equations and unknowns, here's a circuit, solve for the unknown voltages. There are only so many different ways you can ask the question. So if you need an example, here's a couple examples you can look at. That's true for pretty much every homework set throughout the semester, 4 or 5 different years. There's also some resources. Let's see, if you want to go to Circuit Lab, LT-Spice, MATLAB, so on, kind of useful things. These are some data sets we'll be using later on. For example, this is the CO2 levels per year from NOAA. This is the original website, just in case a certain administration takes down the data because they don't like it. I've copied it, put it on Bison Academy, so we have the data. It also has how to download MATLAB. MATLAB is a programming language that you're going to use over the next 4 years. All students at NDSU, as well as ECE, can download MATLAB for free. NDSU has a site license. To get there, just click on this link. And you'll submit an application to get MATLAB. You then download MATLAB from MathWorks. It'll ask you for a key, and after you've been granted a key, it'll allow you to run MATLAB. So what I would advise to do as soon as you can, download MATLAB on one of your computers at home. That way you've got it. It's not just for this class, you'll be using it over and over again. Second thing you need is Circuit Lab. This is a circuit simulator. Again, it is free to use for all NDSU students. When you register for Circuit Lab, just use your NDSU email address. So if you have your .ndsu.edu and you log in, it'll grant you a license. Otherwise, for $24 a year, you can have your own private license. Circuit Lab is extremely nice, extremely friendly circuit layout tool we'll be using. We'll get into that right around week 4 or 5. What else we have? That's mainly it for the resources. In terms of how the class is laid out, click on the syllabus. Oh, puppy dog. There we go. The class meets on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. in Dolby 215. That's where we have the lecture, going over these lecture notes. On Thursday, it's a computer lab. Really, the purpose of this class is using MATLAB. So rather than talk about using MATLAB, we actually have you using MATLAB. Family Learning Center 120 is a computer cluster. In there, you can go in and you'll get help with using MATLAB, going over the homework. You can also do the homework at home. We don't take attendance. If you want to do MATLAB on your own, that's fine. I'll be online on Zoom during both Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. So if you would like to log into Zoom, you can ask me questions while you're working through MATLAB. If you'd like to just demonstrate your homework, that's fine. To turn in the homework, just do electronic copy. Typically, just throw it into a Word document with screen dumps, and that's good enough for the homeworks. I don't need a 50-page write-up. Basically just show that you did use MATLAB, you did get the answers to the homeworks. The thing I'm really interested in is that you're getting experience using MATLAB. The homeworks are due 1 per person, because again, the best way to learn is by doing. Sort of like weightlifting. Watching somebody else lift weights doesn't really help. You got to do it yourself. Likewise, using MATLAB, got to do that yourself. The homework's not real hard. Hopefully it's kind of fun to do, kind of entertaining. And again, the goal is to gain experience, so when you take later classes, you've got that MATLAB experience to make it the later courses you take that much easier. My office is online on Zoom. I'm usually online from like 8 a.m. till 8 p.m.-ish. So shoot me an email and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. I'm definitely on during class times, as well as between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. every day. Those are my office hours, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Again, trying to catch the people that are at NDSU, the people that aren't at NDSU, trying to find a time that should work for most people. Let's see. The online reference, of course, is Bison Academy. The homework is due at the start of class, or just email them to me. My preference is email them to me. That's a lot easier to get to me. Plus, I can email you back your grade. I can also post them on Blackboard. Blackboard works really well. Preferably to have electronic solution, save some trees. Some of the solutions get fairly long, but you're just cutting and pasting into a Word document. Again, not real tedious, or not real hard, somewhat tedious. But if you cut and paste, it's not that bad. The course objective, as I mentioned, is to get familiar with MATLAB and have an overview for the courses that you're going to be taking over the next 4 years. In terms of fall 2020, fall 2020 is kind of a unique semester with the coronavirus running around. This semester, and probably all future semesters, you can take the course any way you like. You can take the course in person. If you'll want to show up to class and have somebody giving you a live in-person lecture, you're welcome to do that. Again, that'll be 11 a.m. Tuesday in Dolby 215, Thursday 11 a.m. in FLC 120. If you'd like to live stream the lecture, we'll probably have a Zoom meeting where the lecture is being live streamed on Zoom. We'll be monitoring the people joining in on Zoom. If you have questions, we can raise that to the class, try to answer them. Or you can take the class online. Again, all the lecture notes are posted online. The videos are posted online. The handouts are posted online. The homework's posted online. So really my goal is to make the online option as convenient as possible for you, but it's really your choice. If you want to show up in person, that's great. If you like to live stream, that's great. If you want to take the course online, that's wonderful too. Your pick, however you want to take the class. In terms of required resources, definitely get a calculator capable of doing complex numbers. I highly recommend the HB35. I'll talk about that in just a sec. But HB35 is, I think, $86 from Amazon, maybe a little bit less. There's also a free app on your cell phone. You're more than welcome to use cell phones in this class. Not during class, but use your cell phone for the app. There's a free app called Free42. It's an HP42 calculator, in my opinion, the greatest calculator ever built for free. It does complex numbers really well, does other math really well. In my opinion, the HP42 is worth about 10 points on a midterm. Midterms tend to be a race. You got to get through the class, get through the test as quick as you can. HPs really help. You can just crunch through numbers very quickly with an HP. They handle complex numbers, something you're going to see over and over again in electrical engineering extremely well. TIs are kind of clunky. Clunky cost you points on a midterm. My recommendation is download the app Free42 on your cell phone. Get used to it. It's a little bit weird, but once you figure it out, it is fast. Back when I was in college, we'd have calculator races, HPs versus TIs. TIs get dusted by HPs every time. So again, it is worth getting used to it. In terms of grading, there's no exams in this class. Basically, the final exam would be pass all your courses in electrical computer engineering. This seems kind of silly. It's really just homework based. If you do the homework, you're going to get an A or a B. Grading is a straight scale. Again, if you do the homework assignments, turn them in, you shouldn't have a problem getting an A. They're not real hard assignments. They take a little bit of time, but again, the whole point is you're trying to learn to use MATLAB. So do the homework. I try to make the homework so it's also kind of fun, kind of entertaining. You can do some animation MATLAB. You can do circuit simulations. We'll be using Circuit Lab as well to check your answers. Definitely, please do the homework. Again, that is 100% your grade. And if you're wondering if I don't do the homework, is it going to hurt my grade? Yeah, it will. So do the homework. And the rules for the homework, do the homework individually. Again, it's like weightlifting. Watching somebody else lift weights doesn't help. Again, the homework isn't real hard. You should be able to finish the homework in an hour and a half during recitation. It's not going to be a huge time commitment. But again, it's a skill that you're going to use for the next 4 years. So do the homework. If you need help, I'm more than happy to help you. I've got office hours, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. every day. Shoot me an email. I'm happy to work with you if you're getting stuck. It's worthwhile learning MATLAB right now. It's going to make the next 4 years easier for you. And for your solutions, my preference would be emailing or Blackboard. Worst case, you can do a hard copy, but save some trees. Just email me your solutions. Easiest way to do clipping or to do the homework is open up a Word document, and there's a thing called the snipping tool. Let's see, I'll show you down here. If you go down in the corner and type in snipping tool, S-N-I-P, this comes up. This is a nice app. Anything on the screen, I can throw into a Word document. Here it is. I'll say I've got a new picture. I'll grab this. I can now copy that into my Word document. If it's on your screen, I can throw it in a Word document. And really, easy way to do the homework sets is just do screen copies. Here's problem 1, the MATLAB screen copy and the graphics. Problem 2, snippet. Problem 3, snippet. Turn in the Word document. You'll email it to me, submit it on Blackboard. That's an easy way to do homework. Also makes my job a lot easier for grading. Now the other thing, if you go to the Electrical Computer Engineering website, we've got information on the courses you need to graduate. Nice one are resources that has a parts inventory. If you're ever looking for parts, this is the stuff that we have. Another resource to use is electronics tutorials. This is Google's electronics. It's actually a very nice website that has information on flip-flops, electromagnetics. In fact, I'll take you there. It's got ads for Jamco. So this has electronics tutorial is basically a textbook covering AC, DC, EMAG, powers, machines, digital systems. Very useful resource, and it's free. So if you want a free textbook, this is the place to go. That kind of wraps up the introduction. But again, as a reminder, do download MATLAB for a computer at wherever you're working. That way you can do the course, can do the labs at home if you choose. Do go to Electronics Workbench, or correction, go to Circuit Lab and set up an account in Circuit Lab using your NDSU email address. It's free. We'll be using that in this class, using it quite a few classes as well. And one other place to recommend, up on the top of Bison Academy, it's got some different resources. What I would definitely recommend is get a soldering iron. Soldering irons are kind of fundamental. They're not real expensive. You use soldering irons in quite a few different classes. We do have a free option. These aren't the great soldering irons, but you can use them if you ever want to solder. Jeff Erickson's got some they can check out. We've got some soldering irons in room 217 if you need to use a soldering iron. For only $30 though, you can get a soldering iron, multimeter, tape, tweezers, wire cutters. Every electrical engineer should have a soldering iron. So you may not need it this semester, but eventually you'll need it. So definitely recommend getting a soldering iron. If you want to be really fancy, here's the top of the line soldering iron. The paste ones are nice. Some of the other things you might consider getting as well. Function generator you'll be using in different classes. Not in 111, but you'll be using it in Circuits 1, Circuits 2, Electronics, Embedded Systems, Senior Design. A free function generator is your cell phone. Download a cell phone app and it'll output a square wave, sine wave, triangle wave at about half a volt peak to peak. Amplify it and I can get plus minus 10 volts out. Or for 30 cents, get a 555 timer. Or for $100, get a real function generator. I kind of like the cell phone option. For oscilloscopes, you can download a cell phone app, oscilloscope app. That actually works out really well. This will display the waveforms as well as measuring the frequency if you get the piano tuner app that tells you the frequency. Or for $88, get an oscilloscope. Again, this will be used in Circuits 1, Circuits 2, these courses. So if you're looking for stuff for Christmas, this is a good place to go. And the last thing would be the powered breadboards. If you're in Circuits 1, Electronics, Senior Design, the department's buying this one for everyone. If you want to start playing with electronic components, this is actually a pretty good kit. It's only 18 bucks on Amazon. They're also available on eBay. This guy right here has capacitors, diodes, transistors, LEDs, resistors, wires, breadboard. It plugs into the USB port of your computer or portable battery and gives you 0 volts, 5 volts. With just 0 volts, 5 volts, you can do quite a bit. I can actually do binary or analog signals, and you can start building some of the circuits that we're looking at in this class and when you get into circuits and electronics. So if you're looking for stuff for Christmas, that's definitely what I recommend. And again, the place to find it is under Bison Academy, up at the top of the page, under ECE Labs and Senior Design. Part of the reason we added that is with the coronavirus running around, the labs are going to be a little bit difficult getting into, just because we have limited lab access. If you'd like to do the labs on your own, that's great. These kits are all you need. We're trying to set up the labs so that most labs, you can do all the labs that you need just with this kit. That's the Introduction to ECE 111. Hope you enjoy the course, and the next lecture we'll start talking about Introduction to MATLAB and MATLAB basics.